The Staincast.
What is the Staincast?
Stain?
Stain. Who is Stain?
Am I dreaming?
Yes.
Stain.
What is going on, guys? And welcome back to episode, what is this, 96? Are we on 96?
95.
Episode 95.
That's
95.
Your odd.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah, that makes sense. Episode 95 of the Staincast. Of course, as always, I'm one of your co-hosts, Mr. Stephen E. With me, as usual.
What's up, y'all? DL in the building, as usual. And, of course,
The kid.
The third host, unofficially the kid. Welcome. As you can see, he's shiestied up. We're ready.
got the Nike
As
shiesty
usual.
back.
Yes,
Tapped
sir.
in. Because, of course, we have another banger. And you know he's always here when we have bangers. Of course, this week we are covering Inglorious Basterds. One of the best movies of all time. But we'll get into that shortly. Before we do, some of us have tapped into Loki Season 2, Episode 1. DL's the only one who hasn't watched it. But just wanted to give some thoughts on that.
I like I don't think I have really any complaints about the first episode because I was digging. I'm trying to find some complaints, but the thing is just that Marvel and Disney, they've been slacking so much that I don't have the faith to keep watching it weekly. I might just let it all build up, but I don't have they don't have my goodwill anymore. But it was a good episode though. It was a good episode though. I will say it was 8.5 out of 10. Pacing was good. They're building up the plot for what's gonna happen in the future season. So I liked it. It was a good first episode for sure.
It was a great way to start the season. I mean, Loki is still the best show that they've put out so far, so they're continuing in a good way, and I can't complain. I'm excited for where it's going to go. But like you said, I don't know if I'm going to catch up with it every week the day it comes out, or if I'm going to wait, or what's going to happen.
The jokes are actually pretty funny too. When there was some funny jokes like Morbius and him and Loki in the elevator. He's like, it looks really painful, man. I tried to play it off, but that looks really painful.
It looked
I don't want to
awful.
see like that. Yeah, when he's time skipping. No, that was some funny jokes though. I did like the episode though.
Yay. DL's tossing you
Marvel
didn't
made.
watch it yet.
I probably won't be watching it. I'm not watching Marvel shows. That shit's ass.
Are you gonna wait for all the episodes or just not watch it at all?
I'll probably
this
do what I
is
did with
Loki,
Ahsoka. I'll do what I did with Ahsoka, wait for it to come out. Heard the finale was alright, and I'm still not watching it. No, but for Loki, yes, I agree. It unfortunately has the rapport. It has the rapport of season 1, but I'm not in any rush to watch it, especially on the first episode. Like when you drop shit weekly, it's just I don't feel like waiting. I don't need that suspense. I probably will watch it at some point. I might even watch it tonight. It's what is it? 50 minutes? And
49.
40,
Credits
yeah.
were 2 minutes. Yeah, Loki credits are really short too, and they had a post-credit scene, so they actually do fill that runtime, which I love about Loki.
Yeah.
Is it an actual post-credit scene or is it a current?
Yeah,
That's up the
no,
next
it's a
episode,
post-credit.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like.
I just want to make sure. Okay. It's probably gonna be something
slacking with that shit.
Yeah, it's like they've kind of they started the post-credit scene and then they subsequently
That's right.
ended it.
Yeah, they overplayed it.
Mhm.
But enough about mid-Marvel. It's time. We got to tap in. Inglorious Basterds, another Quinten Tarantino movie. I think this is our second that we've covered, or is this our third?
What we
I know we've done Pulp
covered-
Fiction.
I think it's probably it. I don't think because we didn't do Django, we didn't do Memento, we didn't do Interstellar.
Oh, you guys didn't.
No.
Damn, no Django
Alright,
yet.
so-
Damn.
So this is our second Quinten Tarantino movie, and as with all of his movies, it is a very dialogue-heavy movie. Extremely dialogue-heavy.
For sure. I didn't realize that until I was breaking down some of the scenes. The first scene alone is fucking
The first scene is
20
25 minutes.
20 minutes of just straight dialogue between Christoph's character and the guy hiding the Jews. That's just 20 straight minutes. And then after that, the whole scene of them introducing Rain and shit, that's another 20 minutes. I love that shit.
The Bear Jew.
Yeah, the Bear Jew and Hitler.
I didn't realize that the Bear Jew, I forgot the Bear Jew was an intercut scene. It's a 20-minute intercut scene from the
From a
the other
retelling,
scene. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, each scene, there are not that many scenes in the movie, but each scene is long.
Long,
There's only
very
five parts.
long.
There's only 5 parts in the movie,
Yeah,
technically. There's
that's what I
5
mean.
parts.
Yeah.
And yeah, each part it like has its own like 20 to 30 minute scene.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess we'll get into that as we keep going. The kid, as usual, will have you kick it off with your favorite and least favorite character.
I think I wrote that. What's his name? Oh, Hans Landa. Hans Landa. That's just the best character in the movie. Like any scene that man is, he just steals the show. Whether it just be his dialogue or just his acting, just his presence in the room. Like Hans Landa is just my favorite character for sure.
He's that fucking
And that
man.
opening scene is probably my favorite scene in the movie. One of them.
Yeah, I mean
agree.
it's a great one.
Hold on, I had it written down. He's like, "You're sheltering enemies of the state, aren't you?" Then he's
They're
like,
under
"You're
your
sheltering
floorboards,
them
are
under
they
your
not?"
floorboards."
Aren't you?
Aren't you? He's like,
Point
yes.
out the areas where they are hiding.
Yeah.
Like I love that. Like he's just so menacing.
Based on the fact that
assume
they
that-
haven't made any noise, they assume they don't speak English.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I was just saying the man is unbelievably talented. The man speaks 3 languages,
No, yeah.
4 languages in the movie. It's like holy shit. And I think he speaks like 7 in real life. Like the man is unbelievably talented. Like just hearing him jump. I think one of my favorite things is in the movie. Actually, we can talk about it later. But I just love when. Actually, we'll talk about it after. It's one of my favorite scenes. Never mind. But we can go back to some of our. Who's your least favorite character, Xander?
Least favorite. I feel like I can't say least favorite because a lot of the characters are like side characters. I feel like if you're
I
not
have a
counting
least
like
favorite.
Shoshana, if you're not counting Hans or Rain, like a lot of them are side characters. Maybe I was gonna say what's his name? The guy that plays Zemo's actor.
Yep.
I don't know. He's just there trying to hit on Shoshana
Zemo.
the whole time. Yeah, he's a good actor. He's good in the movie. I don't really have a least
Yeah.
favorite. I feel like each
Yeah, there's
character
really no-
serves their part of the story.
It's a
well.
Tarantino movie, so every
Yeah.
character
Yeah.
does what they need to do for the plot for the
Mhm.
movie.
And even if they're just a one-off character like that one German officer who got his head bashed in by the bear Jew, like they're all good one-off characters if they're just there for a scene.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dio, you want to
Yeah.
go next, or you want me to go next?
I mean, I'm probably just gonna echo exactly what Xander said and just add a little bit more depth to it.
Mhm.
Hans Land is probably one of my favorite villains just in cinema in
They're
general.
all time in
His-
cinema.
Yeah.
His just the portrayal they have from the start in 1941, where him like relishing his nickname until like at the end when he literally could have had what's her name, Shushalan, but he didn't. Like he literally basically told her that he knows it's her. Like he did
Yeah, with
everything right.
That whole scene,
I mean-
I just want to add the whole scene
I mean,
where
he
they're
literally got
eating
her
at the
milk.
restaurant. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
literally
got the
her
milk
milk.
and then he got the cream. He's like, hold on, wait
Yeah,
for the
she's
cream. It's
Jewish.
the best part. Yeah, he knew, but he's just like you said, he's
Yeah.
tired of that nickname. Like he doesn't want
Yeah.
to keep hunting the Jews anymore. That's why he just let her go.
Yeah.
He's done.
It's like his all his achievement because to him it's so much more than being a Jew hunter. Like he even says that at the end where it's like naturally I'm a good fit for the Nazis because of what they were doing, but it's like that doesn't mean that's his role. Like his role was being a detective. Like that's what he always relished. But now he kind of realized that
He was taking
kinda-
more as the Jew hunter than
exactly,
than
like, that's his
detective
legacy.
aspect of it.
his
Yeah.
legacy is now a Jew hunter. So that's why he's like fuck the Third Reich. Like fuck all these guys. Like my legacy isn't going to be this. My legacy is to be the guy who stopped World War II. It's like I don't know. It's so.
He's in it for the fame only. Like, yeah, he's
Yeah.
an awful person, but he's in it all for the fame. Like, I love at the end
Yeah.
he wanted to be added in on the operation too. Like,
Yep.
like you said, he just wants the
Yep.
fame and the glory of just everyone knowing his name.
Yeah. There's
That's
no
why I
fame
love
when
that
you're.
beginning.
There's no fame when you're gonna lose and get, like you said, fucking be in front of a Jewish tribunal. Like there's no fame and being hung. Like he don't want no part of that. So I think
That
that's
is tough.
awesome. I mean, Hans Lund, like he's just so much smarter than everyone else in the scene. How he knew all the bastards, their names, their code names, what they looked like. It's like this man's never seen any of these guys, and he knows all of this information. How he
Every
literally
single one.
he literally knew it was the fucking Secret Service that was their handler. Like this man is way too smart for any of the characters in this movie, and the other characters are shown to be smart too. It's not just like it's a movie where it's just like the writing just makes it so he's smarter just because plot armor, this guy he's always just in the right place at the right time. He's just legitimately smarter than everyone else, and they show it at every occasion they can do it. It's like even like how he's like that super like open ended, like he's super like he's playful when he's like kind of like even when he's talking to Bridget von Hammersmark, where like he's like joking around. It's like yeah this. Then all of a sudden he's like he switches to English. Like that's why, and I think that's why there's so his character is so good. It's because when you switch between languages like that, it just there's so much insinuation on it. How it's like he's speaking German with her, no French. He's speaking French, and all of a sudden he's like, "What's that saying in English? If the shoe fits, you wear it." It's like literally he's just switching languages, but he's basically being like, "Look, you're a fucking traitorous bitch." Like he didn't have to say it, but it's like him just switching is like. it tells the
all
whole
you
story
need to
in
know.
its own. He's fucking awesome, man. Every scene he's in, like you said,
Yeah.
unbelievable
Like
acting.
that. I just gotta add another scene when he's like you said, he's talking to what's her name, Bridget or whatever.
Yeah.
Like he's talking to her, and then he's like, "How'd you hurt your feet?" And she's like, "Oh, I was mountain climbing."
And he starts laughing. He literally has to take a lap around. He's like, he can't
Like,
believe it. He's
even-
like, this is the
Yeah,
story.
it's so absurd.
what
Like he's just that much smarter than everyone. That's so absurd to him. Like sure, any other officer would have been like, "All right, fine," but he just starts dying laughing because it's so
Because
stupid.
he knows
Like,
the why.
why are you
Yeah.
mountain climbing the day before you're supposed to be at an event? Like,
And it's the cast, just like he said, it's the freshest cast he's ever seen. It's like it literally happened last night. Like,
so oh, you just got this, huh? She's like, "Oh, it happened yesterday morning." He's like, "Oh, right."
Ah,
yeah, and he's like, what mountain in Paris you hiking yesterday morning? And she's like, I'm just teasing because like he's not
Yeah,
like
I'm
he
just
just has too much fun with it because like
Yeah,
he
'cause
knows
he
he
already
got
got
her in
her.
a corner.
Yeah, he got her, and then he just let her out the corner just to feel like she
Yeah.
has some type of power of control left. But it's so
Mhm.
good.
Least favorite is gonna be Zoller, Frederick Zoller. That's Zemo's character. Only because
Zemo's
not because of his acting, because like that's
Yeah.
just how he's written to be. Like he's supposed to be a pest. He's supposed to be annoying. Like even him
Mhm.
pulling up on the end with her, and she has to, like shoot him because like he's literally will not fucking leave. And that's no like this. That's not like me dissing his character or his acting. I just don't believe there's a bad acted character in a Quentin Tarantino movie. I just don't think it exists, to be honest with you. So I'm sure there's exceptions, but like in terms of like the people that are like important to the story, it's just they're all like that for a reason. But I'll give it to him just because he doesn't know his
Yeah.
shit out of me.
He's just there harassing Chef.
Yeah, he goes out sad too. He goes out sad.
Yeah.
So sad.
Tough.
Yeah, I mean, for my favorite, obviously, we've already been talking about fucking Hans for a while,
Hans Landa.
so I will have to give it to the of course the other star of the show, Lieutenant Aldo Rain.
Aldo Raid.
Yeah, Lieutenant Aldo Rain.
The only reason I couldn't give him an honorable mention because his accent is fucking terrible. Man.
It's atrocious.
That's the whole point.
That's the
I wrote
point,
that
though.
down. The whole point is just it's an American like dickhead general. Like he's so good at it. It's just it comes off as hilarious every time he's saying something. It's like, and our enemy will fear us.
Fear
Like
us.
this shit like that. Like come on, man.
Nazis,
Like
Nazi.
I want all their scalps.
Scalps.
I want 100 scalps.
And you will give
From
me
each-
100 Nazi scalps. Like,
But it's great. Brad Pitt sells the performance. He's a hysterical character. It's just you can't go wrong. Gorlami.
Nice. no, that's my favorite. That's one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie, man. It's like it's never been more obvious. He's playing with. He's like, let me hear the music.
music.
Yeah.
Dominic the
he's
Coco, Margaretti. Like he's playing with them, so and they all know it too. But like, what are you gonna do? It's like your room full of fucking SS and high
Nazis,
command. And
yeah.
fucking,
Yeah, you
it's
just
like
gotta.
gotta let him do it.
But yeah, I mean, it's just Brad Pitt. Like
Mm.
he just sells that performance so well. He's hysterical
he's
in every
awesome.
scene. Yeah, he's hysterical in every scene he's in, and of course the introduction to the entirety of the Bastards is great.
Random ass fucking Samuel L. Jackson voiceover.
Yeah, that
Oh,
shit was
yeah,
weird
I
as
have
fuck.
that
I-
is just like the cherry on top. Like,
I forgot
like,
about it
narrating
until I
that.
heard it. I was like, wait a minute, is that fucking Sam Jackson?
Yeah, that was the cherry on top for me. I'm like, this movie's just amazing. They had Samuel come in just to narrate that, the Bastards.
Yeah. The storytelling is just A1, and it's the same thing in all of his movies. Like it's so well done. Like the stories are
tight-knit.
intricate, they're original. Exactly, they're tight knit. Like there is no like I've just never watched a movie like this, like one of his like more on the like dialogue heavy, like super like suspenseful movies, where like you could ever know what's going on. Not like know, but like expect the outcome. To the same way, there's a lot of these movies nowadays where it's like, oh wow, we know we're gonna end up in an hour just from the first 10 minutes of the movie. But in this movie, like there's so many twists and turns, even all the way to the end when Brad Pitt smokes Herman, like scalp Herman.
he needs all those scalps.
Yeah. Handcuff Colonel Lando behind his back, and he shoots Herman. Scalp Herman.
Scalp Herman.
Just need to scalp him. Like,
Yeah,
It was
they're fucking savages. They're awesome. Like all of the Bastards are so fucking funny, and I'm gonna throw another honorable mention to what's his name, Magneto.
Is
It's
it
fucking,
Hugo? Hugo?
No.
I was thinking of Hugo. He's just there. That opening for him is tough.
fuck. He's not in it
Andrew?
that long. Nah, where is he?
Is it the guy from The Office you're talking about?
Michael Fassbender. No, Michael Fassbender. I think he's
Michael
awesome in his
Fassbender. All right, yeah.
That man is
He has
such
a
an
very small
idiot.
role in this movie.
Yeah, he literally.
When he does like this or whatever, the three
Yeah,
fingers,
that's-
that's the
and
god.
that's-
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that's. It's just original. Like it's just something where you don't have to write some stupid screenplay where these guys who are supposed to be like these covert geniuses fuck something up when they really shouldn't. It's like that's just so harmless. It's like three versus three.
Mhm.
It's like that's so
Yeah.
like unnatural, like subconsciously done, where you would never think to be, oh yeah, the Germans fucking order like this, like most Europeans do. It's like, what the fuck? Why would you ever think about that? It's like, and then the whole thing with his accent, I think that was awesome too. Like, I mean, because his accent was dog shit. It was fucking terrible. Did you
but
say
I guess-
least favorite tag?
I mean, it's probably just gonna be fucking Zemo's character. Like, he's just the default bad character because there's nothing really going on for him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a good too. Like he does a good job for what he's supposed to do.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
if I'm not gonna give it to Zemo's character,
I'll say maybe the black guy. Maybe that black guy. He's just there.
I don't know.
know,
The one
so-
dude,
He helps
the,
out, but he's just
the one
there,
dude
yeah.
from The Office, just because he's
Oh.
looking like that.
Yeah, that's that too. I forgot his name.
Mike Myers is in this movie.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
He's literally just he's the introduction to Michael Fassbender's character, and I'm assuming it's Winston Churchill by the piano when he's like when they're basically interviewing him on his film knowledge. I'm assuming it's Winston Churchill. I don't fucking know though.
Yeah, I'm assuming as well. Also Hitler.
Yeah.
That's probably a good one to just put there.
I was gonna
Why
say
not?
I do like how this movie isn't afraid to use Hitler. I feel
Should
a lot
use
of
him.
a lot of
Yeah.
movies and just media
Set in
don't
World
want to
War
use
II.
Hitler. They just don't ever show Hitler. Don't want to use him or even change the Nazi logo. It's just I like how
Yeah.
Tarantino. He's not afraid to do anything in his movies. Like,
I
gotta
mean, he
tell
has
his
a
shit,
trope
man.
in every
He wants-
movie just to say the N word. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I love it. He'll do whatever he wants just to get the point across in the movie. If it's important for the movie, he'll do
Yeah.
it, which I like. Like a lot of
Absolutely.
movies are afraid to like just use characters like Hitler because it's not hard to do, but it's just sensitive.
it's
Yep.
a sensitive topic. Like, especially, I feel like, and honestly, not even especially. Just it is a sensitive topic. It's just something that is traumatic to a massive group of people. So it's like I get why people don't use it, but it's a part of history. Like at this point.
And he
Yeah.
uses Hitler well, like just the over the top comedical
Yeah.
villain. Like
It's not like he's glorifying Nazi killing
No.
Jews or anything like that. Like there's something completely different than him being like, oh yeah, maybe like him trying to like kind of shine some light on. Like there was at no point ever in this movie was there ever like like in terms of like the general like Nazi like the Socialist Party. Is he ever like, oh, there might be on something? No, of course not. Like he's literally like he doesn't have to straight up be like, oh, these guys are evil. It's like you can just tell by their actions, the way that they talk, like the way that they act. Like these are not good
Mhm.
people. Like Heinrich
Yeah.
Himmler, Goebbels, like all of these guys. Like you don't gotta do some like standard Hollywood shit nowadays and be like make them always wear red, make them always be like ass. Like you don't have to be that like on the nose with it. It's like these guys are not good, but
Yeah.
they can still be interesting and like interactive characters.
Yeah, but I guess we'll just go from there into our favorite scenes, the make or break moments of the movies. I mean, this is the meat and potatoes. This is where we're gonna have probably our longest section of the episode.
I mean, we already
'Cause-
got into some of it already. There's so many.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
scoped
Like
them out.
honestly, I don't think there's a bad scene in this entire movie. I don't think there's an unnecessary scene in this entire movie. I think that every single scene plays its part
Yeah, it's tight.
perfectly.
It's a
It-
tight.
like,
it's a
yeah,
very
we
tight
said it
movie.
earlier. Tight knit.
Xander, did you have anything like off? I mean, we can just go back and forth. Like you'll say one, and then I'll do one. Then Hank, you can do one, or we can just like bounce off each other. I think it's probably a good idea because I'll just won't stop. I'll just keep fucking talking.
I mean,
I'll
I
say-
have
you
I've
already
won.
know. You already
Which
know
one?
which one. The bear juice scene.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I'm just gonna say that
calling
so
the
we
bear
can all just
Jew.
talk about it. Yeah, and I'm just gonna say that one. It's just Donnie. Yeah, we got a German who wants to die for his country or something. It's just so
Oblige
ridiculous. Like, I love
him.
that. Oblige him.
I
And
just
then
I
you get the
love how
music
like
that
Takes him
builds
so long to pull up too.
Well,
Takes
yeah.
him so long to pull up.
I was gonna say I do like before he calls for Donnie, like he hits the bat on the wall. He's like, you know what that is? Like to make it all like ominous and shit. And then he just goes, Donnie, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, his voice is not even
Like,
deep either. Like it's
No,
literally
it's not.
fucking Tim
Yeah.
Roth. It's like
It's just it's weak because it's like it's the most intimidating thing followed by like the least intimidating voice.
Mhm.
yeah.
Which is that
Gotta
whole
know
scene.
who the
Even
bear Jew is, right?
yeah.
He beats German soldiers to death with a club, like or whatever the fuck he did. Beats German soldiers with a club.
He beats the brains in with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well, I was gonna say, even though the whole build up to that scene beforehand about how Rain is talking about I want 100 scalps, and then you see them like afterwards, like literally like
actually
3 minutes
scalping
later, like
everybody.
them just scalping the boys' heads and shit. Like it's just
Just throwing them at the
funny
wall
moments
too. Like they don't
that.
keep them. They literally
Mhm.
just
He
scalp
just
them. Like
flip-
they
just
yeah,
flipping
they
them
throw them at
away.
the wall and shit. Like they're not keeping them. Like it's
No,
awesome.
that whole scene.
Are you
is
gonna
just-
take
just
this uniform
hilarious.
off?
I'm gonna burn it. He's
I
like, that's
thought
what he-
so.
I thought so. I'm gonna give you something that you can't. What was it that you
Yeah,
can't take
sir.
off?
That you can't
Yeah.
remove, yeah. And then he
Yeah.
fucking cuts him up. He said, "You're getting real good at that too."
Yeah.
Like,
And
that's
I
like
love at
they've
the
been
end.
doing
I
So
think
that
this
shit
is my
for-
masterpiece.
Mhm.
literally perfect. Like the ending of that movie is like I don't normally like fucking like fist pump the air like fucking like get hyped, but I just love the end of that movie too. Exactly. It's like you know what this might just be my masterpiece, and then the credits roll, and it's like you don't
Yeah,
even have to.
it's
For
perfect ending.
one, you don't even see it, and two, it's like
Mhm.
the double meaning of like it really is Quentin Tarantino's masterpiece. So
Masterpiece.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
I just
yeah.
feel like that's what he meant by that, and then also just the double meaning about how he carved
Yeah.
up his best one yet because he got on
Yeah.
Hans. Like
yeah, exactly. 'Cause
It's
he was
good.
literally working his way up to get Hans. Like
it's good. Yeah, this just might be my.
it's like masterful ending to a masterful movie.
Mhm.
I think one of my favorite scenes is when Frederick takes what is her name? I keep forgetting her fucking name.
which
Bridget.
one? Oh yeah.
The fuck when he takes her to the restaurant about like for the proposition about using the thing, and then Hans pulls up and scares the fuck out of her, like we were talking about earlier, where he orders the milk and the cream for the strudel.
Yeah. Bridget's
Like-
the one in the bar later on.
Yeah,
in the movie.
Shoshana is the
Oh,
the
fuck.
one.
However you say it. Yeah.
Shoshana, yeah.
Shusha. Yeah, so
Shoshana.
what, how are that?
Shoshana, yeah.
Yeah, Shoshana is how you probably say it in
Shoshana.
American. Yeah.
Yeah, so her, sorry. Fucking that whole restaurant scene is
Yeah.
phenomenal. That fucking the
And then her like
suspense
breaking,
where
and then her like breaking out of the character as soon as he walks away. Like that is
Yeah.
powerful shit right there. Like when
Mhm.
like as soon as you watch it, she like literally just loses her cool because like
She's like
she was
gasping
trying to
for
like
air because
yeah, she was
She
trying
keeps
so
like,
hard to
going.
keep her composure. And she was shitting herself.
she thought
He
she was
practically
done,
told
like-
her,
Yeah.
he practically told her, I know who you are, I know where you've been, I know what you
Yeah.
did.
yeah.
And she's shitting bricks and trying so hard not to. Like all she's saying is we. Like that's it. Like
Yeah.
we. And then even most randomly when it fucking pans over to the translator and there's like that 30-second scene of the the lieutenant or whatever fucking the translator, like that was so
I had a 2-second
unnecessary.
scene. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
literally like a
Goebbels,
half like
yeah.
2-second scene. Yeah, it's so
Like so
good.
unnecessary, but that's just Tarantino. So he's
It has
not
context.
It
to the
has like
movie,
yes, like yeah, context is king, and that's fucking.
hmm
It's just
Just to know that these guys are scumbags.
Yeah. But it's just like it's small things like that. It's like it's unnecessary, but it also, like you said, it's add context to the character,
Yeah.
and it's what makes Tarantino's movies so good.
Yeah. I mean, like every character just has so many dimensions to them. Like you have even that German soldier who literally got beaten to death by the bear Jew. He accomplished nothing. He didn't show it's not like there was like some big prize that he won or any crazy plot that came back at the end of the movie. Like straight up, he just fucking was a badass. And it's like, and that's not, of course, I'm not glorifying any of that stuff, but it's like that's what's so good about Quentin Tarantino's movie. And Christopher Nolan does this too, where like you don't just have the whatever it is, the main characters, then everyone else is an idiot. It's like, all right, the main characters, they do everything right. They're always moving forward the plot. And the side characters are literally just there to fill space, fill air. Like, they're basically extras. It's like, no, not in these movies. Like,
No,
there's
not
so
in
many
half
side
fucking
characters.
movie.
It's like anyone who's seen Quentin Tarantino's movies or Christopher Nolan's movies, like, you know, like, side characters are like, they're the ones that push the main characters. Like, that's how they should be used. Like, they're not just there to take up space. They're there to, like, kind of show more of the main characters.
They're there to actually help the plot move along.
Yeah, build
Oh,
the
yeah.
plot so we get to those bigger
Yeah.
moments. Yeah,
And they could be intelligent, like they could be smarter than the main characters. Like that's happened many times before, where the main characters gets maybe even outsmarted by the side characters. Like that just shows you that it's like we're not just in this vacuum where the main
feel like
characters are always doing right or they're
I
always
feel like
correct.
one of the biggest comparisons we can use that to that from movies that we've covered already is Tenet. Tenet is a great use of all of its side characters to move the plot along, to advance the story, or
It's just
some of the
realistic.
characters are even smarter than, like you said, smarter than John David Washington's character, and it's the same thing in this movie. I would say, like, to the same exact level as well.
It's just realistic. Like not everyone, like, main characters, like, it's not, life isn't a movie like that where you have the main characters who are the only ones
Fucking
experiencing
out all the
plot.
time,
Yeah.
or like I was watching the end of I think it was Mission Impossible 3. Willie and Olivia had it on when I came home the other day, and like it's just the Tom Cruise show. Like that's literally what
He
it is.
runs all those movies.
Like
Yeah.
it is just the
Producing
Tom
and
Cruise show.
directing.
It's like
Yeah,
plot's
he's
not going
running
anywhere
it.
without Tom Cruise. It's like, yeah, sure, in its own niche, it's completely fine. But then you watch a movie like this, and it's like, this is real life. Like, this is as close to we're
this
gonna
is
get.
the most realistic a story can be.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah,
And
he
it's
uses
like,
hyper reality because he takes like
Yeah.
things that happen in
and just
real
dramatize
world
them.
events, like and like real
Yeah.
people. But then he like you said, he's just making it over the top.
I mean,
and I love it.
Take Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I mean, that movie.
That's also hyper reality.
Yeah, it is hyper realism. It's pretty much like very similar events to what happens in real life. It's just an alternate reality version of it.
It's like twist on it that makes it so much more enjoyable. It's like, I mean, like, Hollywood still, like, they do that with movies, but like they put they take a story and then dramatize
Dramatize it.
Dramatize it so much where you don't even feel the original elements anymore. Like, you don't even feel like these
You're
characters.
just like, oh, okay, this is kind of set in World War II.
Yeah, it's like, oh, the
Where
only
with
thing,
this
the only
movie,
thing, the
you
only thing that's
feel-
grounding this, exactly, the only thing that's grounding this movie is the weapons they're using and like the places that they're in. It's like, that's not good enough. Like, you need to have the characters, like, even just like, I don't know, like the problems that the characters face. I don't really know.
You feel the realism in this movie, and it's
No.
it's phenomenal. All the side characters help move the plot along
Yeah.
in a
I
way
mean,
that
of course.
actually would in
I mean,
real
we-
life.
we
Getting
barely
intel,
talked about
getting
it yet.
this. What?
We barely talked about it, but the bar scene, that is probably one of the best scenes in that movie. It's probably one of the most like known scenes from that movie. Like every movie,
It's,
any,
it's
like
one
a lot
of the
of
longest too.
yeah, it's just the suspense. Literally, it just goes on for 20 minutes straight, probably more than that. Like the minute
Yeah.
they step into that bar, it's like you have the German soldiers partying over there. It's like, oh no, it's like this ain't good. And then all of a sudden, the major's in the back pulls up and he's asking questions. It's just tough. Like it's just like
Yeah.
another one of those side characters that is smarter than the main characters. Like you
Mhm.
need to do that because that's how you test them. Like you can't have a main character that's always winning or it's always like one step ahead of everybody else. Because then what does that turn? It turns
It
into
can only
Mission
be
Impossible.
interesting so much. Yeah,
Like-
it can only be interesting so many times.
Yeah.
It's like
I like how
you
he
need to
catches him with the
talent.
finger. Like we said, like
Mhm.
he realizes something that the main characters or the good guys weren't thinking about. Like just that simple little mistake of
Like the way that
not
they put
doing
up
it how they like the Germans do. It's just that's tough. A tough mistake
Yeah.
to make.
And I know we
Shit's
know
so
we
hard.
mentioned it earlier, but I gotta go back to the whole opening scene of the movie. It is
Yep.
The
masterful.
suspense is crazy.
Yeah, this is like as soon as they panned. At first, I'm like, oh, what? Like, at first I thought that the guy himself was like a Jew, and they were coming to take his family.
Until they're
And then
literally
it's-
right there.
Yeah, and then it's still it keeps going on, and then they pan to the floorboards, and you're like, oh shit, like he is like, and then you feel the suspense of is he actually going to figure out what's going on? And then he starts talking, and then he starts talking about he starts talking about the Germans being like the sharks or whatever, and then the Jews are like the rat.
They're the eagles, and then the Jews are the rats. Like
Yeah,
like just a little comparison. He's like, I think like the rats. Like the Germans aren't thinking like them. Like he's just in a different level of everyone else. Just
yeah, and then he just goes through. It's like you're harboring enemies of the state, aren't you?
Are you not?
They're under the floorboards, aren't they? Point them out to
where
me.
they're hiding. Like
And
there's
then-
the tension is there, like you said from the get go. Like you don't even need context of what's going on or why this guy's here. You know, just
Yeah.
by the acting, everyone around, like they're shitting themselves because of his presence. So I
And-
love
and
like the tension from the get go.
'Cause everybody
throws
knows
you
them.
right into the movie. It
Mhm,
like it sets you in the right tone where you're just. I can't turn my eyes away because the suspense is so high.
Yeah, that is a
that's
perfect
great.
scene. It's literally one of my favorite openings of movie, honestly. Just
Yeah.
I love how they play with the language too. Like we're Americans, English speakers, so we're used to just hearing like an English speaking movie. So just them coming off the rip with
Yeah,
just
it's so
just
creative.
sound.
It-
It's
throughout the entire
it's
movie,
refreshing, yeah. It's super
It's
refreshing.
just,
yeah,
it's
like
so
you
well
said,
done.
throughout
Like
the movie.
being able to like dispel plot by language speaking, I think is just such a creative way of doing it. Like it's just not something you see very often. It's like, all right, this movie's all in English. we're speaking French when we're in France for 10 minutes, whatever, shitty French, and move on. But like in this movie, it's just so handcrafted. Like even the way like when they're speaking their language, what language they're speaking, how they're speaking it. It's like even when they're in the
And-
bar. What are you gonna say?
I would say the way that they give their subtitles too, because when we're in that restaurant scene that I was talking about earlier, when they're speaking in French, we have the subtitles so we understand what they're hearing because that's the point of view that we're coming from. But as soon as they start speaking German, there's no subtitles because Shoshana can't understand French. I mean, can't understand German, so we don't understand what they're saying, just like she doesn't, because that's the point of view that we're seeing this part in, which I also thought was masterful. Like it's a great way to, like you say, convey a lot of plot and a lot of story through the use of language.
Yeah, and I know Tarantino's not the only one to do that. Like a lot of movies do it, where we're not supposed to know what they're saying because of another language, but he does it really well in this movie. It really works,
especially as an American filmmaker too. Like, that's not something you probably see from an American filmmaker.
Yeah, he studies, like Tarantino is he's a master of film. He studies movies that were taking place in the 40s and the 50s, movies that people don't even think about anymore, and he incorporates that in his movies. Like that opening scene shot of her running away from Hans, like that's taken from like a Western movie from like the fucking 50s, like things like people don't think about anymore, like Tarantino incorporates in his movie.
I mean, he's just one of those guys. It's the same thing like with guys who know so much about sports, where it's like you'll find a football player who could literally like rehearse a game from 30 years ago, exactly what happened. Like he's the exact same way with film. Like you see some of his interviews, like this isn't like some hobby he likes doing. Like this is his life, and it's like it shows, it echoes in his movies because like this, he's just someone who you can tell that doesn't settle for mediocrity. Like he's not gonna put out a movie. I mean, like especially a movie like this,
he's gonna make sure everything he does is perfect and the way that he wants it. He puts his vision. He has his visions, and he executes them perfectly.
Like I haven't seen a bad Tarantino movie yet,
ever.
Like he has some that aren't my favorite, but it's still like all of them are good movies. Even like Hateful Eight, a movie that takes place in like just a cabin for most of the time.
It's a slow movie, exactly, but it's still dialogue heavy. Like it's like
that's supposed to be getting a new one from him soon, right? He hasn't released a movie in a while, I feel.
Yeah, I think we were getting one more from him or something.
I think one more movie, or no, he said his last project's a TV show.
There's rumors about a Kill Bill third one.
Third one, right?
Yeah, there was rumors about that, but
I need something new from him because he's up there with Nolan as one of the best filmmakers.
Yeah. Him and Nolan are in my top 3. I would have to.
For sure.
Maybe Denis Villeneuve is probably the third, but those 3 are just my guys for movies.
Del Toro's up there, Scorsese's up there.
Yeah, they're just Scorsese. I forgot about him.
You could probably honestly assign each of them to a genre, and they'd just be like the kings of each genre. Honestly,
that's true. That is true.
Scorsese, obviously, like the crime, action, thriller kind of thing. Like Tarantino with like the biopic kind of thing, not biopic, but like more of like the history / like just like straight dialogue. Like you can kind of put them all.
Just action. I feel like he's more action thrillers. Too, Tarantino. Yeah. Nolan with sci-fi too.
Just theoretical. Like, exactly.
Yeah, just
even Del Toro. Del Toro's very underrated. I mean, sometimes like his Pinocchio wasn't for me, but like stuff like The Shape of Water and he's got so many good movies.
I agree.
But I don't know if anybody else has any other scenes they want to mention before we move on.
Just the Italian scene. I love that.
Yeah, and I love that scene so much. He's just fucking playing with them so bad, so bad. He's like, "How did you say it?" And the funny, I think it's one of my favorite parts of the movie when he's like, "Oh, I'm afraid they don't speak a lick of a German. They only speak Italian." And all of a sudden, he's like, "Okay." Then he speaks an entire sentence in fucking Italian, and they're like, "Grazie." Or whatever he says. He's like, whatever he says. He's like, I don't even know what the fuck he's saying. And he's like, that's like his 3rd fucking language he spoke in this movie. His 4th one. Like, he's just too talented. Like, it helps.
Like, I feel like they were all shook once he started speaking Italian. Like, they were like, fuck. Like, they were done.
Hold up. We cutting out.
You're cutting out a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah. I'll just say it again. It helps when you have, like, there's a reason why Christopher Nolan surrounds himself with the same actors. Tarantino surrounds himself with the same actors. Like, when you have that formula, when you have guys who are literally, like, got like Brad Pitt, fucking Christoph Waltz, I mean, basically the entire cast, to be honest with you. Like, they're just so good. And it's like, it only makes him better. Like, he's already,
a plus of him and Nolan using the same actors over and over again is they have that chemistry with the actors. They can write these scripts meant for these actors. They know how they're gonna portray it in their heads when they're already writing these parts.
And the actors know what the director wants from them. So
Yes.
it's such a nice, just fluid machine, like being worked in motion. Like that's what I like about like sometimes it's nice to have them using new actors, but I do like when you see the occasional oh, he's worked with this person before, because you know you're gonna get
It's
quality
just
work out of them.
consistency. It's like
Yeah.
consistency is so important in film. Like it cannot be overstated. Like basically any hated film is not consistent. Like that's usually one of the defining features of a shit movie. It's like so when
the consistency,
and when you have that built in, when it's like, all right, I literally have Samuel Jackson pulling up for a fucking voiceover. Like that's the kind of consistency that you expect from those movies. Like even like, and these guys want to come work for him. Samuel Jackson's a fucking voiceover in this movie. It's like, God knows how much you got paid for. Who the fuck cares how much you got paid for? Like he just wants to be involved because of like obviously Pulp Fiction, all the
because of his relationship with
Yeah.
Tarantino,
Mhm.
which says something of him as a filmmaker in general.
Absolutely.
But I guess then we can move on to our favorite quotes. Now, like we've been saying, most of this movie is in other languages, so it's kind of hard to portray quotes as much as normal.
Mm-hmm.
But there were some good things.
Hell yeah.
Whoever wants to
I
go
mean,
first.
of course, it's got to
You guys
be
can go
fucking
first.
whatever his name is, Scalp Herman. That's fucking
Yeah.
good. I was laughing my ass off. It's like this guy's like, "What have you done?" He's like, "Scalp Herman." Like he's just
Scalp
literally
Herman.
completely unemotional. Of course, I mean, literally for no reason. When he's like, when the bear Jew pulls up on him, you get that for killing Jews, and he's like, bravery. Like
Bravery, yeah.
no reason,
Yeah,
no
that's one of
reason.
them.
Like
just out of pocket, just the
Mhm.
devotion from them boys, like it's crazy.
Everdirty.
no, I mean, yeah, the whole thing is so funny.
I got
He's
one.
like, how do you
If
say
the
it?
shoe fits, also if the shoe fits.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
he's just chatting.
That's what I'm saying. Like him switching language, like him just being like, "What is that English saying? If the shoe fits, you must wear
the
it."
shoe-
Mhm. Yeah.
Ugh. So fucking tough. So fucking tough.
You probably heard we ain't in the prisoner taking business. We in the killing Nazi business. And cousin, business is the
It's
booming.
Like they're just like the movie is just a comedy. Like it has a serious
Yeah.
moments. This movie, like it's a comedy also. Like
No, because the
I feel like.
bastards are fucking literally like they're just beyond like not giving a fuck. Like, I mean, because like
They're in it for the
reason-
kills, literally.
exactly, like reasonably so. Like the way that they treat these guys it's pretty fucking spot on. Oh.
We're good.
All right, yeah. I mean, like the way they treat these guys, like the way they treat these Nazis, like that's why it's so easy making a movie like this because like they can be as brutal and grotesque to these guys as they want. They're fucking Nazis.
Yeah,
You
they're
can
Nazis. No one
scalp
likes a
them.
Nazi.
You can beat their head open with a fucking bat.
That's why I'm fist pumping when they're doing all them. Like, yeah, get them. Boys.
We're getting
Yeah, you better-
excited.
I'm like, you better
Yeah.
scalp 100 of them at least.
We
I
gotta
love
add the
when
bear juice to the videos.
I love when they do like the recap on Stiglitz, the German guy, when like basically how the bastards found him. When like basically him showing like all the German guys he killed, and then like he's in the cells, and the bastards pull up to get him.
It's like,
He's
we're
like-
a fan of your work.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, and he pulls up on him. He's like, look, but those numbers are you're a rookie. He's like, how'd you like to go pro?
Yeah.
When he's talking about killing Nazis.
That's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. That whole compilation of him like killing all the SS officers. Because he doesn't say a single word throughout the movie, right? He's just silent throughout the movie.
Barely.
Yeah, he says a couple things.
Yeah, he's just there though. He's just lurking.
Yeah. My favorite quote in the whole movie, though, has got to be when that German officer who basically catches them in the act when Michael Fassbender does the 3, when he's like, "You're no more you're no more German than that Scotch," or something like that, and he's like, "Well, if you hope you don't mind me going out speaking the Kings or whatever he says." Like, he switches to
the
English.
king's tongue.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that shit's
It's just so
The
hard.
king's
Yeah,
tongue.
it's so fucking hard. He's like, well, seeing that I am knocking on the door, I hope you don't mind I go out speaking the Kings. And he's like, by all means. And he's good doing English too. It's like, it's so fucking, so tough. So fucking tough. The weirdest thing in that entire movie is if I had a break moment, it would be, the guy who's of Wilhelm, who had a son, Max, when they pull up and he's like, when he's speaking English, he's like, how do you know English so well? He's like, me too. He's like, I'm surprised too, or something like that. Just because Brad Pitt mad fucking speaks any other language but English. So they had to make him speak English. That was just weird. Like, that was like, I don't give a shit. But like, I just remember like that dialogue hitting me. I'm like, that's kind of lazy.
It's supposed to be played for comedy, I feel like.
Yeah, no, of course. Like anytime Brad Pitt or any of them, like they're not
I mean, the whole Italian scene is a beautiful example of how stupid like it is whenever they're involved. Like they're just
It's like
they're
it's like stupid Americans. Like I feel like that's what
Mhm.
Tarantino's going for because every other
Yeah.
ethnic group are they're just smarter than Americans. Like Brad Pitt's
Yeah.
just like
I mean,
the
she even
typical
says it.
American.
Von, whatever her name is, Bridget Vonders, whatever. It was like, do you Americans know any language but English?
In English.
And he's like, I know the most Italian. You know the second. You'll be third. He's like, I don't know any. He's like I said, third best.
Like it's just so ridiculous the comedy in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It fits so well.
Because it's so unexpected. I think that's why it fits. It's like a movie like this, you'd never expect fellas to be cracking jokes like mid scalping, but they do it anyways. Like it's just very. I guess it would be like juxtaposition or whatever. Like I'm sure there's a word for it where it's like you're not expecting someone to crack a joke like in a situation like that, but that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah. But I guess then we can move on to
Hold on. I got a quote.
Oh, sorry.
I'm
sorry.
done, motherfucker.
I'm sorry.
He said, "Each one of you men owe me 100 Nazi scalps, and I want my scalps." That's one of my favorite. He's like,
I just hear him saying it in my head right now. His nasty ass Tennessee
Yeah.
accent, his twang.
The accent from Brad Pitt's my favorite part from his character too.
No, I'm hearing him say it when you say that quote out loud. Like it's nasty.
It's hysterical.
Another one is shit. I literally just had it in my head. What happened? Oh, that whole interaction when they first meet each other. When Hans meets Apache and the little man or whatever, he's like, I was quite surprised given your sight, like because he's like the Germans called that one guy the little man. Like that shit was so funny. He's like, look, like we don't control our nicknames. He's like, I was quite surprised that you were regular height.
The little man.
It's just tough. Especially when Hans is like, when they're basically like, what did Hans say? He's like, oh, I thought we were operating at the same level of mutual respect or something like that. Because I mean, Brad Pitt's character is literally just unbelievably disrespectful, and it's like he just doesn't give him any credit. But I mean, Hans is literally fucking way too smart for anybody in this movie.
Oh yeah.
And like the fact that he even put the dynamite under Hitler's chair, it's like ridiculous. I mean, I love the mutilation they did right before they blew up, like that shot of Tim Roth or whatever, like his face, like he's like fucking sweating, like he looks like he's taking a shit. He's shooting him so fucking bad, like Hitler's face is getting mutilated. Like you can get away with that shit because it's like fuck yeah.
It's like, we want to see that.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna bat an eye for that.
Yeah, I love when they're just in the press box, just shooting down at all the people with the MP4. He's like, that shit is unbelievable.
Yeah, but I guess then we'll move on to it's now, which to be honest, I don't really have any. We've
I'll
said
just,
it
I'll,
before.
I'll just reuse what I said before with that guy speaking German, speaking
Yeah.
English in the bar, but I don't give a shit. I'm just saying like that's that just shows like how tidy this movie is. That something like that would be on my radar. It's like that's really all I can find. Like I was looking for
And
like
there was nothing.
no.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, but
Like maybe I think they should have gotten rid of
So
that
then I
fucking
guess
towel. They definitely should have gotten rid
We
of
know
that
what time it
napkin.
is now.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear what I said?
No.
I said they really should have gotten rid of that napkin that Bridget fucking kissed, but I mean, whatever. I guess it was the heat of the moment. They wanted to get the fuck out of there, but like, shit. That's fucking tough. Like, that was the easiest clue Hans is ever gonna fucking find. Like, shit was literally a napkin signed Bridget von Hammersmark. Like, bruh.
I was gonna say I had another I forgot, but if I remember, I'll say it.
Okay.
All right. Well, then we'll get right into it. Time to lean nice and close, because it's time for the thirsty moment of the movie.
Talk to me. Talk to me, bag.
What do you got?
I think I'm gonna have to give it to Bridget.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, Shahana's also a good pick.
Whatever you say.
Yeah, I mean, regardless.
But
It's not like he's going around freaking showing off skin or anything. Like, that's not.
yeah, I mean, it's like there's really nothing to.
But yeah, if I had a preference,
crazy.
it would probably be. I mean, they're both pretty similar, right? Like, they're both blondes.
Yeah, they're both. That's what I'm saying. Like, either one of them.
They honestly are both fucking exactly the same character. But I'd give it the Bridget just because I like her wardrobe better. Like simply,
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Acceptable.
yeah. It's like
There really is no like thirsty moment of the movie for this movie.
no.
Nah. Then I guess we'll lean back instead of leaning forward. And of course, as usual, every Saturday-ish, massive emphasis on ish this week. We take to our Instagram at the Staincast to ask you guys a lovely question, get you involved, and see what you're thinking. This week, we asked you guys what your favorite Brad Pitt movie was. And we got a couple of nice answers. RP24, not to be confused with Chet Sable, said Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is a fantastic movie. Another Tarantino movie at that.
Goated.
A goated movie. Max said Moneyball, which I don't know if I've seen that one myself.
I've
That's a
seen
good
that.
one.
It's about it's the baseball movie. That one's good.
Yeah, that shit's fucking.
I got
The
Jonah
Kid.
Hill too.
The kid said this Inglorious Basterds or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which I don't know if you want to elaborate on that one, kid.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was probably Brad Pitt's funniest movie for me. But that's just it. Like that movie is just not to be taken seriously at all. It's just I feel like it's something to put on and just have fun with. That's why I like that movie.
Yeah, it's
That one
good.
the Bruce Lee fight scene, the whole scene with him and his wife where he's like reaching for the gun about if they fucking do it and then they cut off. Like they got so many good moments in that movie.
yeah. Cole said Troy,
Hmm.
which is
I
another.
don't think
pretty
I've
good
seen
movie.
Troy, but I know that one. I've probably seen it when I was a kid. and
It's
just
the
forgot.
one when he's
He's
a
like a
Greek
gladiator.
god. Yeah,
He's
he's
a
a Greek god.
god?
Mhm.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
he's the
yeah.
demigod. I'm pretty sure. Forgot who he
Oh,
is.
no, I didn't see that then.
And then the Quill said
Achilles.
AD
Yes, I
Astra.
thought so.
Mm-hmm.
He said AD Astra slept on OD.
Ad Astra.
Ad Astra. Yeah,
Ad
Ad
Astra.
Astra. I gotta watch that one. I might watch that tonight.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one either.
It's
I
just
heard
a
it was.
slow burn
I heard it was.
one.
Yeah, I heard it was decent, but I think it's like very similar to Interstellar, like the same kind of
Concept.
yeah, the same kind of like fucking broad strokes. But I mean,
Trying to save the world from dying or something, so he has to go out in space. It's like his father did a former mission or something, so he has to find out how that team went missing or something and save the world too. It's like you said, Interstellar type science
Yeah.
fiction.
Yeah. Okay. Well, DL, do you want to say yours and then I'll finish this off?
he's got a lot of really good movies. Let me preface by saying that, like, he's one
Absolutely.
of the greats for a reason.
Yeah.
It's difficult. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at his movies right now, and my
He
God,
got 7 too. I forgot about
Yeah.
7.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's got 7. He's got that movie he made
Bullet
with Edward
Train.
Norton in 1999.
He's got Bullet Train. He's got
Not gonna
fucking
say
World
it.
War Z.
Yeah,
I forgot. I like World War Z too. That one's.
I forgot. He's in
actually really
Megamind. He's fucking the superhero, like the like the Superman esque superhero.
He is in Megamind.
Yeah.
He's Metro Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that. I actually really love that movie.
He's in all the
I haven't
ocean.
seen
that
one of my
in a
favorite
minute.
movies.
Killing Them Softly is good.
Yeah, that one's good too.
War Machine is fucking hilarious. That's actually a really good movie about insurgency. If anyone's like interested in like that kind of concept, like the whole Iraqi war kind of thing, very very
I might watch
informative.
that.
Like he's
I'll
pretty.
check that
I
out.
think it's on Netflix. But yeah, he's got that same shitty accent again. He really taps into his
The shitty accent.
yeah, like that southern accent. I'm pretty sure he basically redoes it for War Machine. Hideous, but
He's
yeah.
in Fury also.
Yep, true. Good movie, great
He's in some
movie.
good movies. Yeah, he's in some bangers.
Yeah, no, he just
Yeah,
doesn't
I mean,
fucking miss.
he's a great list. A great filmography.
Yeah, of course he's in Bullet Train. We covered that
Yeah,
movie.
Bullet Train. Yeah, I love
Yep.
that movie.
Bullet Train is fantastic.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't think I could give one, but if I had to, just based on like if I'm scrolling through these, the most memorable one. Wow, it's tough.
His most iconic for me
Probably-
is probably just 7. But
Probably that movie he did with Edward Norton in 1999, probably. If
which
I had
one was
to,
that?
I ain't saying it. I ain't saying it. It's the first rule, bro. Can't do it.
Oh yeah. What am I talking about? You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah.
That one. That
Yeah, that one
That's why I
movie
didn't
he
say
made.
it. Maybe that's why I didn't say it.
Yeah. But just
That's
because
it.
like
Yeah.
like its cult following speaks for itself, but like just the whole role he plays and like obviously the ending of the movie I think kind of adds to it.
Mhm.
Yep. Absolutely.
I will say that's probably my second favorite from him. Then.
Yeah, but most
Right.
recently, I mean, like World War Z, I think it's just like super like it's just him kind of out of his
don't want to say out of his comfort zone, but kind of like he's not normally in like that sci-fi shit, like not to the same degree of like a zombie movie. Like I think it's just cool seeing him in that.
Yeah, scratch that. I'm gonna have to remove Once Upon a Time and put the movie We Can't Say.
Yeah,
Can't
I mean that
speak
shit
of,
is
but
so fucking tough.
I
Tough.
love that movie. Him and Edward Norton are cooking in that.
Yeah, I think so. For me, I'm either gonna give it to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, or honestly, this one. Like,
Yeah, no, I mean he's great in this movie too.
it-
Exactly. Like,
yeah.
like let's say let's not discount his performance in this movie. It's just like I said, I'm just going off by his most memorable role because we haven't even talked about shit like The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, which I think is just great acting. Like maybe there's the actual subject material itself isn't very interesting, but he's also just got amazing movies just in general, like where he's just a star. So, like
yeah,
Meet
it's
Joe
hard
Black,
to
I
pick
heard's
just
pretty
one,
good.
but
Yeah,
it's very hard to pick just one. But he's one of those actors where if you see him on the
Yeah.
cast list, you know
Oh,
you're in
yeah.
for a good treat.
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
but thank you guys, of course, for answering. Of course, stay tuned for this Saturday ish for next week's question. And yeah, I guess then we can move right into our ratings. And for those of you who don't know, last week DL and I did make the decision that we're going to start ranking all of our projects as letter grades, S through F, just because we find it easier, especially when we're covering so many different kinds of projects.
yeah, it is simpler instead of
So-
just doing numbers and shit.
Yeah, it's uniform.
I think for me, for this movie, and I'm pretty sure you guys can agree with it, this is an S tier movie.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Making
for
it with
sure.
my hands right now. Camera's probably
Yeah,
flipped,
like-
so I got to do it this way.
This movie, the writing, the story, the acting, the direction, the cinematography, the rewatchability, like literally everything about it, everything that we look for in a phenomenal movie is here. Of course, Quentin Tarantino is who he is and makes phenomenal movies all the time, but this is just one of, if not his best, and clearly states and puts this in as an S tier.
No debate.
Agreed.
Here. Yeah, no debate.
Yeah, there is no debate here. This
I'm
movie's
looking.
just-
I did
it's,
do.
it's on that level.
What you're gonna say, Xander? Is that all you're gonna say?
No, it's a no debate. It's on that level.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Like,
it's
look-
just that good.
It's 2009, so it's definitely been long enough for me to call it like one of the greatest movies ever made. But I think in terms of my own personal experience, because obviously there is more movies in the world than I could ever watch. In terms of movies I've watched, I couldn't definitively say one, just because that's just like
There's so many good movies.
Yeah, exactly. It's like movies in general, like some of my like that top 5 or top 10 or whatever that would turn out to be. It would be a fucking dogfight because. There, like you said, there are some straight up fantastic movies. I did IMDb top 250, which is like their 250 like most highest rated movies. Grain of salt is rated. It's like obviously there's a lot of critics that could like it's a lot of subjectiveness to it. But just even looking at these movies, like it's just in that echelon. Like Shawshank being number 1 is first of all that's fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry guys. I'm sorry. It's a great movie, but that shit ain't no fucking greatest movie of all
Not
time.
number 1.
No,
It's
sorry.
a phenomenal movie. Yeah,
Absolutely,
but I don't think
absolutely.
yeah.
But it's not.
It's
like,
not number 1.
No. Like just even in terms of prison movies, I'd put probably The Green Mile over Shawshank just for its emotional factor. Like that's, but whatever.
Yeah, I'd put Green Mile over for
Like
sure.
I
would
like
Green
maybe,
Mile, but-
maybe at
This-
some point
this
we just
movie is
break
different.
down that we just literally go to that 250 and like kind of take it apart. Be like, look, these are great movies, but like, hold on, what's another one? Old ass movie.
I couldn't do like a definite like top 10 of all time. I don't
No,
think I could.
but this movie being an S tier movie, just
Yeah.
it's pretty much in that category of this could be one of, if not the best films of all time,
Mhm.
and that's why it's given that S tier.
Yep.
yeah.
All right, The Green Mile's 28. Okay.
I don't know if any of you have any other last thoughts you want to add on to this movie before we send it off.
Phenomenal storytelling and acting. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, watch it if you haven't. If you have watched it and it's been a while, watch it again. If
Christoph
you watched it last night, watch it yet again.
Yeah. Like, there's really no reason for you not to watch this movie unless you're just like super squeamish or you just don't like war movies. Regardless, it has a ridiculous cast and a
Or if
typical.
you, or
Even
hate
if
the
you don't like
Nazis.
war movies, give it a peek. It's not your stereotypical war movie.
And even if you hate the Nazis, they scalped them. So we're all
Yeah, exactly. So we're chilling there.
And it's like not even like completely
But of
story
course-
aside, like it's like in the Tarantino fashion, an ensemble cast. Like the cast is phenomenal. Like
It's phenomenal.
their B squad is the A squad in most movies. Like that kind of good. Like
Yeah. But of course, as always, thank you to the kid for joining us, and thank
sure.
you to all of you for tuning in. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to go down below, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell, leave a like and a comment. If you're listening on Spotify, give us a follow and leave us a nice little review. And then when you're done with both of those, head over to our Instagram at the Staincast, give us a follow, and turn on post notifications. Hit our link in that bio to buy some merch. And of course, stay tuned for Saturday where we'll be posting the question of the week. And next episode on what are we actually covering next week? It would be great if I checked that. When we cover Smile.
Ooh.
See you guys next
Horror movie,
week.
Actually.